The room went quiet for half a second, not long enough for anyone else to notice. But I did, because I was already watching him. He had his arm draped over the back of her chair. Too comfortable, too practiced. Like it belonged there. Like he belonged there. And my wife, she didn't move it. Didn't even flinch. Just smiled at something someone else said. Like that small detail didn't exist. Like it wasn't slowly tearing something open inside me. Then his voice cut through the music. Loud, casual, calculated. "Man, you're a lucky guy," he said, looking straight at me. "She's way out of your league." Laughter followed. Not cruel, not yet. Just enough to test the waters. I smiled back. Of course I did. Because losing control in a room full of people is what amateurs do. And I'm not an amateur. But inside, something shifted. Not anger, not jealousy, something colder. Because it wasn't what he said. It was the way she looked at him after. Just for a second. Too quick for anyone else. Too familiar for coincidence. That's when I knew. Not suspected. Not wondered. Knew. And the worst part? This wasn't the first moment. It was just the first one I couldn't ignore anymore. I didn't say anything that night. Didn't confront her. Didn't ask questions. I laughed when I was supposed to laugh. Drank when someone handed me a glass. Played the role. Because truth doesn't reveal itself to emotional men. It reveals itself to patient ones. And I had time. I always have time. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Every small thing started lining up. Her phone, face down more often. The sudden habit of stepping out to take calls. The way she'd pause before answering simple questions. Tiny delays. Micro-hesitations. Like her mind was filtering reality before letting it reach me. And him. He was always just around. Not too close, never obvious, but present enough to feel like background noise. The kind you don't notice until it's gone, or until it's all you can hear. I tested nothing at first. Just observed. Patterns don't lie. People do. 3 nights later, she fell asleep before me. That never happens. She's always been the restless one. Light sleeper, guarded. But that night, she was exhausted. Or careless. I lay there for a while, staring at the ceiling, listening to her breathing, slow, even, trusting. And for a moment, I almost hated myself. Because a part of me still wanted to believe I was wrong, that this was all in my head, that I was about to destroy something real over shadows. But then her phone buzzed. Once, soft, but loud enough in the silence. I didn't move immediately. I let it sit there. Let the screen fade back to black. Because impulse is dangerous. Precision isn't. When I finally picked it up, I already knew what I was going to find. I just didn't know how deep it went. Face ID didn't work. Of course it didn't. So I used something simpler, something people forget. Muscle memory. I lifted her hand, pressed her thumb gently against the screen. It unlocked instantly. No resistance, no hesitation. Just like her. And that's when everything changed. Not because of one message, but because of how many there were, and who they were from. His name wasn't saved, but I didn't need it to be. I recognized the number. I always do, because I pay attention. Unlike her, unlike him. Scrolling felt surgical, detached. Like I wasn't reading my wife's betrayal, I was studying evidence. Every message peeled something back. Every word confirmed what I already knew. But one line didn't just confirm it. It rewrote everything. And I felt it. Not in my chest, not in my stomach, but somewhere deeper, quieter, more permanent. I locked the phone, placed her hand back exactly where it was, adjusted the blanket, and lay back down, staring into the dark. Not angry, not broken, just awake. For the first time in a long time. Because now, this wasn't suspicion anymore. This was strategy. And I hadn't even made my move yet. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't need to. Sleep is for people who still have something to dream about. By morning, I had a plan. Not emotional. Not reckless. Clean. Precise. Final. I treated the next few days like nothing had changed. Because for me, nothing had. The illusion had just expired. She smiled at me over breakfast. I smiled back. She asked if I'd be home early. I said yes. We played our parts perfectly. Except now, I knew the script. And more importantly, I knew the ending. I didn't confront her, didn't argue, didn't accuse. Instead, I collected screenshots, call logs, dates, patterns. Not because I needed proof for myself, but because truth, when revealed correctly, doesn't just hurt, it destroys. And I wanted it to be undeniable. For everyone, including him, especially him. The next party wasn't planned by me, but it might as well have been. Same people, same energy, same false laughter echoing off walls that had seen too much pretending. And of course, he was there, already comfortable, already close, already acting like he belonged in a life he had no right touching. This time he didn't wait long. Some people mistake silence for weakness. He was one of them. "Careful, man," he said, smirking. "If you don't keep up, someone else might." The room chuckled, a little louder this time. They were warming up, testing how far they could go. I looked at him, really looked at him. The confidence, the arrogance, the complete lack of awareness. And then I looked at her. She was watching me, not him, me. Nervous, subtle. But there, she felt it. The shift, the storm behind the calm. Good. That meant she already knew. Something was coming. I stood up slowly. No rush, no tension, just enough movement to pull the room's attention without demanding it. I reached into my pocket, pulled out my phone, and for a second, I said nothing. Silence is powerful. People fill it with their own fear. Then I spoke. Quiet, measured. "Funny thing about keeping up," I said, glancing at him. "You have to know where you stand first." He laughed. Of course he did. He thought this was still a game. So I ended it. I walked over, not aggressively, not emotionally, just directly, and I held my phone out. Not to him, to her. Her eyes dropped to the screen, and that's when it happened. That moment, the one you can't fake. Her face didn't just change. It collapsed. Color drained. Breathing stopped. Time paused, because she saw it. Every message, every lie, every version of herself she thought she had hidden. Right there, condensed into something undeniable. The room didn't understand yet, but they felt it. Energy doesn't lie. "What is that?" someone asked. I didn't answer them. I looked at him, still smiling, still unaware, and I turned the phone. Now he saw it too. His expression didn't collapse like hers. It cracked, then shattered, slowly, painfully, like glass under pressure. No one laughed anymore. No one moved. Because now they understood. Not the details, but the truth. And truth doesn't need explanation. It just needs exposure. I took my phone back, slipped it into my pocket, and stepped away. No shouting, no accusations, no scene. Just silence. Heavy, suffocating, final. She tried to say something. My name, maybe. Or an excuse. Or a lie she hadn't practiced yet. I didn't stay long enough to find out. Because closure isn't something you ask for. It's something you take. On your terms, I walked to the door, each step lighter than the last. Not because it didn't hurt, but because it was over. Control had returned to where it belonged. With me, I didn't look back. Not at her, not at him, not at the room. Full of people who would spend the rest of the night dissecting something I had already buried. And as I stepped outside, into the quiet, into the cold, I finally felt it. Not anger, not relief, something cleaner. Detachment. Because the truth is, they didn't betray me. They just revealed who they were. And I made sure everyone else saw it too. After that, there was nothing left to lose, and nothing left to say.